Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're tackling something super important for kids with autism, giving them a boost in the social skills department. We'll be diving into Cheapaba, a website. It's all about accessible therapy
We're really going to zero in on group activities.
through activities.
Yeah, they can be real game changers.
Okay, group settings for social skills. I mean, it's like they say the more the merrier,
Yeah.
right? But is that especially true when we're talking about kids with autism?
Absolutely. And it all comes down to applied behavior analysis, or ABA for short.
Okay.
Essentially, it helps us understand how behaviors work and how we can actually teach new skills. When you bring that into a group setting, well, then you're not just teaching, you're actually simulating real life.
Right. The website actually says it's like social skills boot camp,
Mhm.
but way more fun.
Exactly, you got it. Think board games, building projects, you name it, even like relay races. We call this structured play, and it really helps break down social interaction into, manageable steps.
Structured play.
Yeah.
I get how games are engaging and all, but what actually makes them so effective for building these really essential social skills?
Well, let's just take turn taking, for example.
Yes.
Such a simple concept when you think about it, right? Like in a board game.
Yeah.
But then out in the real world, that translates to a child having the patience to wait their turn. Whether they're in line at the water fountain or just waiting for their turn during an activity in class, that can make a huge difference in their day.
It's like these games are secretly teaching life skills. That's
Yeah.
so cool. I'm seeing here that Cheap ABA talks a lot about this idea of creating a structured environment. What might that look like in action?
Okay, so picture this. You've got a group of kids working together to, let's say, build a tower.
Okay.
It's playful, right? But there are rules. And there's cooperation. There's communication happening.
Right.
And all of this is taking place in a controlled setting with therapists there
Yeah.
to guide the interaction and helps reduce anxiety. And it ultimately builds their confidence for when they face those similar situations, but outside of therapy.
That's fascinating. So they're practicing these skills
Yeah.
without even realizing they're prepping for real world scenarios.
Exactly.
That's amazing. What are some other examples of how this structured play can teach these, crucial skills?
Well, even something as simple as a game of tag, right?
Oh.
Teaches kids about reading social cues, understanding boundaries, and even dealing with disappointment. Yeah.
If they're tagged. And these might seem like really small moments, but trust me, they build a foundation for way more complex social interactions down the line.
Okay. I'm starting to see how these, what might seem like simple activities, are actually packed with learning opportunities.
Absolutely.
The website also mentions role-playing scenarios.
Yeah.
Now that sounds intriguing.
Uh-huh.
What exactly does that entail? So role-playing, it's not just for drama club, is it?
Right.
What kinds of scenarios are we talking about here?
Okay, so
And how do they actually translate to real-world skills?
let's say a child is learning how to join a group conversation, right? Role-playing lets them actually practice approaching the group, listening to what the discussion is, and then finding a way to contribute,
Yeah, that's a skill that can make a huge difference. Whether they're on a playground or at a birthday party with friends.
That's a great example. It's like they're getting like a sneak peek at how those interactions might play out and building their confidence at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, Cheap ABA, they don't just stop at the therapy room door. They really emphasize the parents' role in all of this too, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Parents are essential. They can do so much to reinforce what's being learned in therapy.
Right.
Just by creating those opportunities at home for those skills to really shine.
So it's all about kind of, creating that continuity between the therapy setting and the home life.
Exactly.
What are some things that parents can do to make that happen?
Well, the website talks about 3 main strategies. First up, you've got to try to replicate those group activities at home.
Okay.
Family game night is a perfect example. And it doesn't have to be super complicated.
Right.
Even something as simple as a card game can be a chance to practice turn taking, following rules, and even, handling those little wins and losses gracefully.
It sounds like it's really all about just creating that fun and supportive environment where those skills can really blossom.
Exactly.
What are some of the other strategies?
Okay, so positive reinforcement is huge, really big. When you see your child using those social skills,
Yeah.
acknowledge it, know?
Yeah.
Maybe they remembered to say please and thank you during that family game night, or they waited their turn without getting frustrated. Those are big wins, right? Little praise goes a long way.
It's all about building that kind of positive association with those social skills, right?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
feels good to use them.
Exactly.
What about that third strategy?
Don't underestimate the power of just talking.
Okay.
After a group activity, whether it's, therapy or something you guys did at home as a family, take the time to really talk with your child about it,
Yeah.
about their experience.
Okay.
Ask open-ended questions like, what did you enjoy most about that game? Or was there anything that you found challenging?
So it's about like giving them that space to kind of process those experiences
Yes,
in a safe and supportive way.
absolutely.
I can see how that would be so valuable.
It is. And it also gives you, as the parent, valuable insight into their progress, their challenges, and even where they might need a little bit more support.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This whole journey of social development, it really is a team effort.
Speaking of teams, it seems like that collaboration between, the therapists and the parents is just like so crucial
Yeah,
for these kids to really thrive.
absolutely.
It's like everyone's working together to create this like amazing support system.
And it's beautiful to see when that happens.
Yeah.
When everyone's on the same page, they're sharing their observations, they're celebrating the victories together. I mean, it makes all the difference.
Absolutely. We've talked a lot about sort of the how of using group activities and like that important role that parents play. But before we, wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious,
Yeah.
have you seen any kind of unexpected benefits of this approach in your work with kids?
You know what always surprises me is how much these kids actually learn from each other.
Oh, wow.
There's like this certain magic that happens in a group setting. It's
Yeah.
like this peer-to-peer learning that you just can't replicate in a one-on-one setting.
That's so interesting. So they're not just learning from like, the adults and the therapists in the room. They're learning from each other's kind of experiences,
Absolutely.
perspective.
Which is amazing. And it just goes to show that social skills aren't just about, learning a set of rules. It's about really navigating the nuances of like, human interaction. And there's no better place to learn that than in a group.
It's just amazing to think about like those little ripple effects,
Yeah, it is.
how these small moments of like connection and learning can make such a huge impact on their lives down the road.
Absolutely. And it brings us to the why behind all of this, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about, teaching kids how to play a game or share a toy.
Right.
It's about equipping them with the social skills that they need to actually navigate the world, with confidence and joy.
It's about giving them the tools to create those meaningful connections,
Yes.
to build those friendships,
Yeah.
to advocate for themselves.
Absolutely.
I mean, these are skills that can really like shape their future.
Exactly. Think about it. A child who once struggled to, make eye contact is now confidently raising their hand in class, eager to participate. Or a child who used to like shy away from social gatherings is now laughing and playing with friends at a birthday party.
Right.
These are the moments that make all the effort worth it.
Those little wins. It's about unlocking their full potential. And not just, in these social situations, but really in all areas of their life.
And that potential is limitless,
Yeah.
When we give children with autism the tools to connect, to communicate, and to really engage with the world around them.
Yeah.
I mean, we open up a world of possibilities.
This has been such a great deep dive.
It has.
We've uncovered, the power of group activities in ABA therapy.
Yeah.
We learned about kind of, the crucial role that parents play in all of this.
Absolutely.
And we even explored, some of those unexpected benefits.
Yeah.
Like that peer-to-peer learning
It's amazing, isn't it?
that happens in the group setting. So cool.
It really is. And it just goes to show that social skills are not something, we're just born with. They're skills that can be learned, they can be practiced, and they can be mastered with the right support and the right guidance.
For anyone listening who's feeling inspired, maybe, to learn a little bit more,
Yes.
be sure to check out Cheapaba.
Yes, please do.
They have a ton of great information on their website
They do.
about, group activities, tips for parents, even resources for finding, affordable therapy options.
It's a great resource for families, for educators, for, really anyone who wants to learn more.
And remember, this journey of, social development, it's a marathon,
Yeah.
not a sprint.
Right. Yeah.
So celebrate those small victories,
Yes.
be patient,
Yes.
and just never underestimate the power of connection.
Couldn't agree more. Every interaction, every moment of connection, it all contributes to a child's growth and development.
Yeah.
Let's empower these kids to embrace their unique abilities and really navigate the world with confidence and with joy.
So well said. To all the parents, the caregivers, the therapists, the educators out there, like championing these kids, we thank you.
We do. Your dedication and compassion are making a world of difference.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, keep those minds curious and keep those conversations flowing.